Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
The premonition runs true.
The first sacrifice opens the eye. The second sacrifice draws its gaze.
Help has arrived. Too late to change the tide, I'm afraid. But if there is any honor in you, we can at least die with dignity and give our lives for the rogue trader. God Emperor, preserve us. The rogue traitor is dead. The ship has lost her Lord Captain, and the house its head. No matter what ritual Kunrad is performing there, the warp is too strong. I cannot withstand it. I feel my body changing with every second. The warp is ringing in the air. This is the end. We will perish in the warp, along with the Warrant and all the dynasty's heirs. The enemy of humanity has triumphed.
I've seen it before. We'd better get away from him. The changes are already accelerating.
Words worthy of a righteous soul.
Save the lofty words for later, will you? The navigator's ready to take the ship out of the warp if he gets some help from the bridge.
Then we have no right to bow our heads. We are out of time! No. To die altogether is to allow the flame of the dynasty to perish in the dark. No. It will not be like this. Not today. The ritual will not be completed. I'll take care of it. And you, see to it that the void ship breaks free from the warp. Watch over our realm. And farewell.
Accursed traitor! A time will come when you will bleed for her ladyship Theodora's murder. Remember my words, for they are the vow of he who marches toward his death.
What? Theodora is dead? No, that can't be. Not now. I still haven't.
Your ritual won't be finished, heretic!
Oh.
2 arms!
Your Emperor won't save you!
That is not my destiny. No can do. But of course. I'm not so sure. There is movement in the Empyrean. Was that you? Or...
I serve the ruinous powers!
Doubt is for the weak.
I'm a member.
I'll do it. Must not falter.
Follow my lead. Stay vigilant. Heretics!
Victory is imminent. Indeed.
Death to non-believers! Death to the weak!
Didn't flinch. It's as good as taste of what's to come.
Brace yourself, Avalon!
Will do.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
On it.
Just a minor setback.
Can I fall back now? Pain cleanses the body.
But not by much.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Weapon at the ready.
At your beck and call. It will be done.
Chaos guides me.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Who if not? I don't need luck. I have strategy.
What is this foreboding? Will do. Anything else?
I've suffered worse.
Not this Scryer's Joe. Will do. Stop it!
Just a minor setback.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. As the Emperor...
My ears are ringing.
Anything else? Call to me.
Time to prove my mettle.
I will not. God Emperor, move through.
She did always want to be a martyr.
I'll revert to more conservative tactics.
I'll see to it. On it. I'll make it happen.
We're at a tactical disadvantage.
Don't you dare leave us now! It's as good as done. God, I may be down, but I'm not out. I'll make it happen.
But of course, farewell.
Out of my way!
I am his will made manifest. I'll do it. Emperor. Eradicated. Moving out.
Temporary setback.
I will do my duty. Indeed.
Brace yourself, Abelard. I serve the ruinous powers!
Was that you? Or...
I'm still standing. Just barely.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone!
Pain and duty go hand in hand. This wound will make a fine scar.
I won't forget this.
It will be done.
Death to non-believers! Your end is near!
On it. I've faced worse than this.
Will do. No can do. Anything else?
Who even taught you to fight like this?
As the Emperor commands, I act. Guided by faith. Doubt is for the weak.
I've suffered worse. Let me help.
I owe you a debt.
Victory is imminent.
Death to the weak!
Let's make some opportunities. Who if not me?
But of course. I'm not so sure. That is not my destiny.
Just a minor setback.
Rejoice in battle!
I will do my duty. For von Valencius! A tactically sound approach. Indeed.
Was inevitable.
No can do. Strike is a prayer.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
When the faithful are...
Yes.
The Emperor sets my path. I'm ready.
Should I divine our next step?
Look no further.
I have a nose for profit and a taste for adventure. I always keep my options open.
The heir is dead. He sacrificed himself to save the entire dynasty.
A noble deed. Let the crew offer prayers for the hero who renounced.
Rover, Master Helmsman, systems status report.
By the Emperor, it's the Seneschal, living and breathing. Well, there's a tricky question. The old place is so overgrown with foul wickedry, we'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for throne knows how long. Must have been Providence. It better have been the Emperor's, not someone else's. When they barged in here, the ones with the Master of Whispers, some officers charged them, but it wasn't even a fight. I grabbed whoever I could and dragged them behind the cogitators. Then, I prayed for our rescue.
Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation to real space. You may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House von Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence.
Take the Lord Captain's seat. Order the final preparations. Wait for the officers to report and... blast it all to the void! Translation is a craft, not something to be explained in a tick. Just go up to the throne, Master. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the solace of seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. Please, hurry. Every second we waste is a terrible risk.
That's frustrating. I just realised my mic was off for the whole thing. I'm sorry. Alright, I've fixed it now. Alright, okay. Take the Lord Captain's place. Okay. What's this? The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents invisible to mortal eyes. As if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing, while still remaining the same. It has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false rogue trader's eyes reveals the entity's true, surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire, the other, a vessel of ancient evil, bores into you. Her voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears. This voice booms with all the horrors of the war. Alright.
Who are you to oppose destiny itself for the sake of lives that are not your own? So many threads stretch between you and other creatures of your world. Pitiful, worthless links, ready to shatter at the slightest touch. A muddled, erratic, pointless tangle.
It resonates and merges with the voices that have already dug their foul roots into your consciousness. A moment later you realise that all these voices are the myriad manifestations of the same call that has finally invaded your mind. Okay. You are to blame for Theodora's death. I'm saving my people. Do your worst, but you cannot stop me. Be gone, Phantom. What do you want with me? Alright. Okay.
I am the beginning and the end, and all that courses in between. I am the voice of the truth that is destined to triumph. For this triumph is the terminal point of every twisted maze of fate.
The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy. A relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured, and the steps chosen. And yet, you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. I see you. On the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World, I see you by my side on that day. The day of my resurrection.
Okay.
Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return to me.
The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine.
Okay. A cavalcade of hazy glimpses of a future yet unknown passes before your eyes. A flash of crimson purple. The images replace one another in a violent kaleidoscope without ever letting you get a proper look at them. Through the rippling mirage, you see a twisted image of Abelard, the loyal seneschal of the dynasty. Alright, so this is the entity tricking us, I guess.
Seneschal? The Navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means...
Alright, we snapped out of it.
The Navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valancius flagship. We will honor his memory, along with that of all who died this day.
Seneschal, will you tell us now? Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty. By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision,
say nothing.
It is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the warrant of trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord. It is because of his toils that we all still live.
The deed is done, Master. My apologies. I meant to say Lord Captain.
Alright.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members.
It's a bit Witcher style.
Yet hope remained. For the second in line to the rogue trader dynasty survived. And through the strength of his resolve, saved those who were counting on him for protection.
Hey, a trophy. That's nice. Idle chatter is strictly forbidden on the bridge, although between tasks the officers still find the opportunity to discuss the latest developments. Yeah. Deep shadows of wariness can be seen on Abelard's face. Though the old officer's eyes are keen, they rake over you from head to toe. He frowns, muttering something, then nods to himself. Okay. Well then, your lordship. You cannot help but notice that the seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk on your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating at the officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, Abelard pulls himself together. You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputies, while others go unfulfilled entirely, and now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leadless crews. Okay, how do we come to lose so many officers? What's on the agenda for the meeting? Have you succeeded in tracking down Voitkvir? Wait, Abelard, there is an altogether more pressing problem. I do not wish to be the rogue trader. I am ready to start the briefing. Summon the officers. Alright. Okay. It appears the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found, which is unsurprising given that their informant on board was our own Master of Whispers. Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I'm still receiving updates from across the ship and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort. Even so, as you personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are currently in, so prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your lordship. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge, and they in turn will have the honour of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. Alright. Have you succeeded in tracking down yet? No, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. Our people are still on the hunt for him, and any mutineers who may be still skulking in the ship's many corridors. But frankly, I would not be surprised to hear that we are now one shuttle short. I'm afraid that it will be some time before he answers for all that he has wrought. Should I complain? No, we'll skip that one. I'm ready to start the briefing. With a gesture, Abelard relays the order to the adjutants at the far end of the magnificent chamber. dozen pairs of eyes bore into you, the expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Alright. Attention officers, you have been granted an honour. Lord Captain Polshikinami von Valancius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard? Yawn, I haven't had time to be listening to every last officer on this hulking rig, Abelard. Give me a precis. What are the major problems and what needs to be done? No, I want introductions. As you wish, your lordship. Abelard points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain as many implants as it does flesh. Vigis Suri Otter of the Tolliman line, our new Vox Master. Alright. Okay. Vox Master Vigis. Vigdis. Okay. It's an honour to serve your lordship. The Vox Master offers a deep bow. Aboard the vessel you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external sources. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Okay. Beside her is Ravor, the Master Helmsman. Yeah. He steers the ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us, to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate trap. Okay. The bearded man with the pale, almost transparent skin, large dark circles under his eyes, and a dour expression that seemed hard-wired into his face gives a sullen nod. Hail, Lord Captain. This here ship's as good as a home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. And lastly, our high factotum Janarus Danrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. Okay. He looks rich. Servo skull. Alright. Dressed in an embroidered jacket, the heavy-set man with the oiled hair offers an obsequious smile and bows. It's an honour, your lordship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. Okay. In the second row we have the three officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard, the Infernus Master whose crew work to prevent and extinguish fires on the ships, and lastly the Drives Master, servant of the Omnissiah, the Machine God, the supernatural entity god of all knowledgeable worshipped by the Adeptus Mechanicus. Very good. The three officers salute you, the Infernus Master does so with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Drives Master offers a salute resembling a dance, involving a complicated manipulation of all the tech priests. Mechadendrites. Tech priests. Rulers of the Adeptus Mechanicus, they revere technology as the object of their devotion. They direct the endeavours of fabrication and lead the followers of the Machine God in unforgiving crusades of ruthless acquisition. Alright. Mechadendrite. A tentacle-like robotic limb prosthetic surgically attached to the spine. Alright. Thank you, Abelard. Greetings to us all. Or greetings to you all. Is that everyone? Unfortunately, our choir master, the esteemed Zachary Weiss, head of the Astropath section, is unable to join us. He is in charge of communications with distant star systems. Master Weiss has been in a trance for some time now, attempting to contact other planets in the von Valancius Protectorate and inform them of Lady Theodora's passing and Conrad Voigtver's treachery. I will deliver the report to your lordship on the Astropath's progress as soon as it is possible to do so. Okay, down rock. It is equally regrettable that two more individuals of worthy mention cannot join us at the briefing. The Master at Arms and Confessor Adalbert. The eminent Adalbert must see to the funeral services being held for the fallen officers, of whom there are far too many for him to take leave from the chapel. And Mistress Sarabak, who has replaced her late predecessor as our Master at Arms, is currently leading the search for any surviving agents of Vortkabir. All others present are adjutants, secretaries and deputies. They are here to make a record of proceedings. Alright. I wish to hear the Infernus Master's report. Cool design. Yes, Lord Captain. The tall man bows his head in deference. I can report that all fires across the decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment in terms of material losses and crew casualties has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal of the High Factotum. Good. Alright. Post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in line of duty. Abelard remarks in a low voice pitched for your ears only. The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. Nice joke. Alright. High Factotum. We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given to the tech priest's hands for attention and that all lost supplies are replaced. There is only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that's people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and unfortunately this number was not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but also trained professionals. Nice. We will be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Rykard Minoris. However, the planet, the whole system, in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for the Rogue Trader. My job. Alright. Especially true given Caligos Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later is the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planets. Right. Drives Master, I will hear from you now. Zira Tala. The voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the tech priest's scarlet hood. He doesn't have a picture. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engines entrusted into my charge is unharmed, thank the Omnissiah, but its spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have not yet identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. With great sorrow, I must also report that the Engineer Prime, overseer and spiritual authority of all tech priests on board, fell in battle. The Magos was betrayed by the little flesh that remained part of him. A most terrible loss. There is no one among my comrades aboard whose experience and comprehension of the sacred protocols equals that of the fallen Magos. We require a replacement as soon as possible. Would someone care to translate? Don't need that. I see, thank you. Tech priest bows her head. Master Helmsman next. Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without our engine seer prime and navigator, who fell in the battle, we have no way out of this system. If we try to set as much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what will happen first, our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads. Your Lordship, if you will allow me to interject, when we arrived in the system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all the available communication channels in the region. One of them was a Navis Nobilite station. The station maintains a complete vox silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck, a true blessing from the God Emperor. What's this? Navis Nobilite. An ancient organization of noble mutant families whose genes allow them to safely guide warp-capable void ships through the immaterium. Alright. Okay. A sharp bolt of pain lances through your skull as if in response to what you just heard. You understand that it is not the God Emperor you should thank for such good fortune. The words of the demon that appeared before you during the translation to real space echo in your mind. I am the will of the Weaver of Destinies, and today I weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the Maw is more of irreversibility, the thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. Alright. If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. In slightly less shitty news, we can go round and round this system till our heads are swimming, as long as the Prometheum and supplies last. And if any thick as grok shit lowlives come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out. So don't you worry on that score. Alright, thank you. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything to report? The Master of Ordnance gives you a gloomy look. No, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told. But just ask anyone. We've got no able crew, Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what? Comes the officer's hostile and bitter reply. As if a dam has burst inside him and all his pent-up emotions are rushing out. The ship's in ruins, every second officer's dead, and now we've got a Green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to Void knows where. Silence! The bridge's magnificent glass panes seem to tremble under the force of Abelard's roar. Enforcers, seize this mutineer. Oh. Bit harsh. Abelard grunts. If only one officer out of the whole lot has fallen to pieces, then that's not bad at all. Your Lordship, I do humbly apologise on behalf of the entire crew. What would you have us do with the Master of Ordnance? The former Master of Ordnance, I should say. Besides... Oh, I should say, yeah. Besides, find a replacement, that is, for... We already have one lined up. Oh. Alright. Draw your weapon and execute the officer personally. Let this be a lesson to the rest of you. I do not tolerate such construct in my regiment, and I will not tolerate it on my bridge. Sorry, I did not tolerate such conduct in my regiment, and I will not tolerate it on my bridge. Iconoclast. Stand down, release him. I have no intention of punishing a man for a moment of weakness, not after the terrible attack we have endured. Dogmatic, execute him. Experienced Masters of Ordnance are few and far between, so for that reason he may remain in his post. I leave his punishment at your discretion, Abelard. No, he's just distressed, so stand down. Abelard stares unblinking at the Master of Ordnance. Cease your snivelling, you disgraced yourself and your entire clan. Enough! The hysterics are over, let us resume. Alright. The Master of Ordnance stands up, wiping the blood from his broken nose. His face is a picture of shock. What just happened seems to be dawning on him only now, and the knowledge of the fate he so narrowly escaped. Alright. Maybe he'll help us later. To summarise, we have sustained serious losses in crew numbers and we require new Engine Seer Prime and Navigator. Is that all that is preventing us from continuing this voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain. But bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we will never reach Footfall without first solving these three immediate problems. Footfall. A massive void port on the edge of the Coronis Expanse, and a notorious hotbed of vice, trade, and rogue trader intrigue. Alright. Mos Eisley. Alright. Okay. What can you tell me about the systems in which we currently find ourselves? Thank you for all your reports. Dismissed. A bit more information. Abelard. I cede to the Voxmaster on this point. Mistress Tulliman? We are in the Rykard star system, and our voyage here was undertaken on the orders of your lordship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in this system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Navis Nobilite station has not simply failed to answer. It seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system. And Rykard Minoris itself is also not responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seem to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet. Alright. An augur. Sensor technology that allows void ships to scan planets, spot enemies, and obtain various kinds of crucial data at great distance. Alright, the situation is not very encouraging, but without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go to the planet and the Navis Nobilite station and find out what in the void is going on. Alright, thank you for all your reports. Dismissed. The assembled officers salute you as one. Okay. Sorry about that. Your Lordship, there is one other thing. A confidential matter of utmost importance. Lady Theodora, your eternally esteemed predecessor, brought the ship out here to this system for a reason. She was given a secret commission. You perhaps are wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue trader to do anything. I shall tell you. The Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Coronis Expanse. Ah, okay. The Inquisition. A secret organization tasked with hunting down a myriad of threats to the stability of the Imperium and all mankind. Okay. I will be honored to fulfill the Inquisitor's commission. What is it he asked of Theodora? I came across a strange handwritten letter on Theodora's desk. It was signed XC. You are referring to the contents of that note, I presume. Is that so? And what is the task in which she was so interested? What if I choose to simply ignore this so-called commission? Alright, this one. Alright, yes, quite right, XC. Xavier Calcazar. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Heinrich von Kallux. An interrogator, you'll understand. All I know is that he is somewhere in the system, and that we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, and then deliver him to Footfall in the Furibundus system. Finding him without any more information to go on will be difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in this system, either the Navis Nobilite or the Governor of Ricard Minoris, may know something. That's all of it, your Lordship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins of the Von Valancius Protectorate. Abelard gives you another scrutinizing look, as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this mountain of problems. His face softens slightly, as it seems he is about to offer some words of encouragement. Idira, Sister Argenta, explain yourselves. The Sister of Battle grimly nods towards Idira. The Psyker is suffering from some ailment or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judge that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue trader. Wow, we're so busy now. Okay. Idira's glazed eyes rove over those assembled. One word bursts from her lips. Daybreak. Idira, come to your senses. Abelard, bring the witch to heel. If there is nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It's time to get to work. Come to your senses. Damn it! Idira presses her fingers to her temples in desperation. Your Lordship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future and it hit me so hard. My head is still spinning. Something very strange is headed our way, and I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn. And it's ringing and ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Class? No, not yet anyway. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make any sense of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report it, alright? Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look into your future, find me on the bridge, and we can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions. I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. The Psyker's bitten lips stretch into a wry smile. Okay, if there's nothing else of value, let's get on with it. Well, that was long. Alright. Okay. A thin, pale woman stands out among the rest of the crew. There is a thick bundle of cables coming out the back of her skull and disappearing under her ceremonial garment. And you see the grate of quietly humming vox where her mouth should be. The woman sees you and bows her head in a respectful greeting. How may I serve you, Lord Captain? Remind me who you are. I know who you are. What are the Voxmaster's duties? Your appearance is unique. You're a Voidborn, are you not? My appearance comes from my heritage. Generation after generation of people who spent their entire lives in the depths of this void ship. Neither we nor our ancestors have ever left our homes, but the same cannot be said about the many denizens of the Imperium's million worlds. We are used to the silence of the cosmos and the voices of the ship. There are thousands of us, but we dwell far from the Lord Captain's upper decks and remain unseen. We are Voidborn. Alright. Dramatic. Where does the word Voidborn come from? Because we are children born in the void between the stars, be it the womb of a travelling vessel, an orbital satellite, or a forgotten asteroid station, low gravity voyages through the warp, and the countless dangers of space travel, everything others hate and dread is second nature to us. Okay, tell me about the lives of the Voidborn in my crew. To us, the groans, creaks, and murmurs of the ship sound the way babbling brooks and singing birds. Oh, sorry. To us, the groans, creaks, and murmurs of the ship sound the way babbling brooks and singing birds do to world dwellers. So birds exist on many worlds. Interesting. We hear the ship breathe. We know what it is feeling and thinking. We are part of the ship, just like it is a part of us. We perform numerous functions, and there are many officers among our number. Some maintain order and prevent mutiny, others serve as shepherds and support the crew, and some devote themselves to mending the body and spirit of the vessel. Okay, how do you find life on the ship? Life has been quite generous to me, Lord Captain. I am the Voxmaster, and only the best in the dynasty can become one. By virtue of my skills and position, no one has ever denied me anything. Our family claims a spacious section for its demesne. I also enjoy long walks through the narrow and dimly lit corridors of the ship, listening to the sounds of her activity, falling asleep and waking up to the chanting of hymns, and admiring the stars beyond, of course. Alright. How do others on the ship treat you? We look, speak, and move differently from the inhabitants of the planetary worlds. Our way of life, traditions, and quirks frighten these people, just like the darkness of the cosmos. Many believe us to be the bringers of ill fortune, and alas, it is the Voidborn who get the blame for terrible warp phenomena during long voyages. Looks like you are close friends with... Oh, not yet. Several years ago, an unfortunate warp jump caused all the food on board to spoil. 15 days later, a hungry and furious crew nearly massacred everyone on the lower decks, blaming us for the misfortune and hoping to restock the larders with our flesh. I would have been killed during the mutiny had Idira Tlas not shown up in the right place at the right time. She came to my rescue, and the scoundrels' fear of her was even greater than their fear of the Voidborn. Ah, okay. Are we going to eat them? Alright, looks like you were close friends with Idira. Webs of tiny wrinkles appear at the corners of the Vigdis's eyes. The only hint that the Vox Master is smiling. The Voidborn seldom make friends, especially among the captain's entourage. But you see, many consider Idira to be different. I am different too. We have spent plenty of time in each other's company, discussing regicide over a glass of Amasek. Regicide? King killing? Alright. Okay, regicide. A human tabletop game played across the Imperium of Man, similar to the ancient Terran games of chess. I'm learning. Amasek. A potent alcoholic drink of varying quality, widely accessible across the Imperium. Alright. Except Idira changed after one incident, and we started to drift apart. The death of Lord Captain Theodora made her withdraw even more. I don't know if Idira considers me her friend now, but we used to be very, very close. It's good I can still look after her in my own way. Oh. Okay, perception test succeeded. Interpreting the Vox Master's emotions based on half a face and a Vox-modulated voice is no easy task, but you managed to catch the undercurrent of Vigdis's words. The Vox Master is not merely saddened by her rift with Idira, she's devastated by it. I'm 7 XP. Alright, have you ever left the ship? Oh, I did once, and it was dreadful. It felt like a massive blue dome overhead could shatter at any moment and fall. My bones would be crushed by the gravity. Vigdis twitches her shoulders, trying to ward off the flood of memories. The ship is my home, Lord Captain, and I would not trade it even for the bounty of 100 worlds. Okay, I see. Let us return to business. As you wish, Lord Captain. Okay, Fellowship 100%. Connect me with the vessel's main channel. I wish to bolster the morale of my crew. Alright, and Fellowship test succeeded. The Vox Master nods obediently and presses several switches on the device she is holding. It is done, Lord Captain. Okay, you address the crew with a rousing speech and hear the voices roll through the ship, reaching even normally quiet corners of the vessel. When the broadcast ends, you hear the distinct shouts of approval. Very good. Oh, I don't want to say that now, it seems weird. Alright. I want to know all the duties. I am the ears and the voice of this void ship. I supervise several dozen officers and 3 times that number of support personnel. We receive, send, encrypt and decode all incoming and outgoing messages through the ship's internal and external channels, and we also ensure clean communications and the optimal efficiency of the crew's Voxcasters. Okay, if you ever want to know what worries and concerns your crews are harbouring, what your subjects are whispering about in the local networks after their watches, and what their leaders are clamouring about over the shortwave Vox transmissions, just come and see me. I will satisfy your curiosity. Okay, thank you. Have the Vox spirits brought you anything interesting lately? Forgive me, Lord Captain. I have no information that would be of interest to you at this moment. Alright, that will be all for now. I live to serve, Lord Captain. Alright. Where are we at now? Bridge officer? Lord Captain? Abelard. Oh.
Rogue trader.
Sister Argenta looks tired. There are dark circles under her eyes and her hair is somewhat disheveled, but she moves like she's a little on edge. Yeah, tell me about the Adeptus Sororitas.
Gladly. There are none more faithful to the God Emperor than my sisters. We fight against his enemies by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy. We... I beg your pardon, Rogue Trader. Here I am talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about?
Oh, she seems pretty chill outside of battle. Okay, they say the Adeptus Sororitas are the fiercest in their faith among the warriors of the Imperium. Is that true?
It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words, more often than not with a bolter.
Are all sisters truly as faultless as you say?
Even the novices of the Adeptus Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit. Yes, there have been cases when a sister stumbled or showed weakness, but do not expect to hear a story of depravity or downfall from me. Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her, for nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of fault and weakness. Wearing nothing but robes, no armor, eviscerator in hand, those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul. Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate. And we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pronatus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful.
Okay. Law succeeded? Right. The Order Pronatus is not one of the Order's militant, and yet you are a trained fighter.
Don't let the name deceive you. The Order's militant trains sisters to march onto the battlefield as an army. That does not make sisters who belong to the non-militant orders timid and helpless. Both the solace-bringing Sisters Hospitaller and the enlightened Sisters Dialogus know how to greet enemies of humanity. Their dialogue with heretics is usually quite short, with the last word being a bolter discharge. And my order has all the more reason to be known for the martial prowess of its sisters. We are the keepers of the Imperium's relics. What would become of our blessed hero's legacy if the Sisters Pronatus could not protect it?
She's proud of her order. I'll give her that. Okay, you said you belonged to the Calexian branch of your order. What brought you to the Coronis Expanse?
The Order sent me to Footfall. My undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Parsimus Duane, the station's founder.
Drusians. Followers of the cult of Saint Drusus, a legendary hero of the Angevin Crusade who founded the Calaxis sector for the Imperium of Man. Alright. One day we're gonna have to take a look at the like the encyclopedia in this game and read it together on stream, because there's so much lore. So much lore. Okay. Are there any other members of Adeptus Sororitas in the Cronus Expanse?
None that I'm aware of, but the Sisterhood's orders are many, and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed as deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy.
Okay, I have no more questions about the Sisterhood.
Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness.
Right, tell me about yourself.
About me? I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me?
Alright. How did you end up on Theodora's ship?
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the cultist attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, where crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I had barely recovered from my wounds when the cultists struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations. Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday. It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them. On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse, no one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
Okay. We could go to that planet and deal with the Chaos Worshippers?
The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valancius Protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now. Perhaps later, when the skies above our heads have cleared.
Okay.
I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the Medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistic systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship.
Okay.
But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the cultists. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright.
Okay.
As you wish.
What is it that's keeping you in my retinue?
The ship was targeted by heretics, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary, but for now, I wish to remain a part of the Rogue Trader's crew.
Okay, cool. It pleases me to have a servant of the Golden Throne in my crew. May the enemies of the Imperium tremble before our onslaught. Okay. I enjoy your company, Argenta. I hope that you remain in my crew and this ship becomes your home. You might be of use to me, and so I have no problems with your presence. I see no place for you on our ship. We will take you to Footfall, and that will be all. Okay. Oh, you seem pretty cool.
Those are very courteous words, Rogue Trader.
Huh.
Thank you. Both for your words and your hospitality.
She gives you another somewhat puzzled look. Alright. You said you have a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rogue Trader.
Okay.
The accursed servants of Chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valancius territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the Rogue Trader could meet with the orphans?
What good would meeting them do? Make arrangements for a meeting worthy of the Rogue Trader. I will address the orphans with a speech. I will meet with them, no formalities needed. These are the children of many people who gave their lives for the Von Valancius dynasty. My consideration is the very least they deserve. Deliver this order on my behalf. The orphans are to be properly provided for, but a personal meeting with the Rogue Trader is too much. Why would I? Do you wish to fill these children's heads with the illusion that the world and its rulers care about them? I will have no part in this. Yeah, I'm not gonna be a jerk. I will meet with them.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
Alright, no problem. Let's do this quest to get some experience. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break, so bear with me and I'll be back soon. Alright. Okay, I'm back. I remembered to turn my microphone on this time, so let's continue. Let's go and see all the children. The motley crew of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Alright. Indefatigable sister, is that even a word? Has been keeping an eye on these pups. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the Schola Progenium in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. Schola Progenium. A division of the ecclesiarchy responsible for the upbringing, education and training of orphans, of those officers and nobles who have died in service of the Imperium. Okay. Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of the ship has appeared before you. The one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House von Valancius. Oh, okay. You notice Infernus Master Enric Monteg standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet his gaze. Infernus Master, do you serve as a teacher in your spare time? Grandly address the group. I, the rogue trader and Lord Captain of the ship, speak to you now. Your parents gave their lives for a just cause and brought honor to the von Valancius banner and those of the Imperium. I am proud of them and I believe that you will become their worthy heirs. Smile at the group. Your Lord Captain greets you, brave ones. Address the chaperones. Give them treats and escort them to their homes. I believe a minute of beholding the Lord Captain is a great enough honor for them. Should I grandly address the group or just smile? What should I do? Should I impress them or not? We're addressing them. The teenagers hang on your every word with bated breath. Only a few at the far end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed by your speech. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, "So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in the dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches?" Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants both to calm him and scold him for his impudence. Address the chaperones. Their comportment leaves much to be desired. I hope that they will be molded into worthy servants of House von Valancius. This audience is over. Address the chaperones. Punish the troublemaker and put the rest back in their bays. The audience is over. Address the group. If you have things to say, say them without fear. I will listen. Ignore the interruption. Rest assured, you won't be abandoned. You will be taken care of. Address the group. The boy smiles grimly. It doesn't matter what we say, it won't bring our parents back. And it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop dead like our folks, or worse. I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through. But they gave their lives for the truth. For the good of the whole ship, for the Imperium. Do not speak of their honorable fate with anger and disdain. When the heretics who killed your parents attacked the ship, I was there. I took command, I fought, I repelled the assault as quickly as I could. But no war can be won without losses. You can only strive to do what's within your power. The strong have the power to decide the fate of others. The weak either obey or die. If you seek a different lot in life, boy, save your grumbling and look for an opportunity to rise above the rest. Punish the troublemaker and put the rest... same thing. Same things. This one. You heard the rogue trader. His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying package treats with von Valancius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the Seneschal came prepared for any contingency. Argenta rubs her temples pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay. Okay. Alright, back to the bridge. Do you have anything more to say?
Greetings.
No, you don't. Alright. What does that mean? Melee weapons, 106%. Fuel. Okay, yeah. Inventory. What does this do? I forgot. Alright. Okay. You can't wear a cape, can you? Right, they'll do. Can you wear a cape? Okay, he's a melee character, so yeah, probably important. Okay. Abelard?
Lord Captain?
Alright, let's chat.
A noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you.
Okay, outline the situation in the Coronis Expanse for me. What do I need to know and keep in mind?
This is a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation. But I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words. The Coronis Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that local warp routes become useless within months. Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble. And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels. Until recently, the Coronis Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor, but not by much.
This place operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak. But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronis Expanse is considered rogue trader territory for a reason. Only rogue traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse, and in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier.
Okay. Who are the main players I need to be aware of in the Coronis Expanse?
In the first instance, you should treat official representatives of the Imperium with respect. The Expanse may be on the fringes, but it still numbers among the territories of the Golden Throne. The arrival of the Lord Inquisitor has turned the Coronis Expanse into a less wild and uncontrolled region, to the regret of some individuals who had grown inured to the local lawlessness. Rogue traders such as yourself are also servants of the Imperium. They have been accorded special rights and powers. They wield immense authority within their territory, and they enjoy absolute respect in other parts of the Expanse. The most powerful of them are Caligos Winterscale and Incendia Bastal Chorda. Tread carefully when dealing with either of them. If we are to speak of unclaimed territory, which is what Footfall is, among the scum that dwells on that handful of asteroids, there are 3 factions that wield considerable influence in the sector. The first is the Kazbala Commission, organized crime in its most primitive form. It holds sway over the Liege of Footfall and has links to rogue trader Winterscale. The second faction is an offshoot of our shining ecclesiarchy, followers of St. Drusus. They are actively building their forces and hold influence over rogue trader Chorda. And finally, the third faction, the Explorators, a wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are willing to die and kill for the secrets of the ancient technological heresies that are hidden among the stars of the Coronis Expanse.
Okay. Kunrad, our previous Master of Whispers. What can you tell me about his betrayal and what do you think he'll do next?
You know, Lord Captain, I am no admirer of fine art. But when we next find ourselves in a civilized port, with time to spare, I will promptly find an artist and commission a portrait of the individual to whom you refer, with a hole between the eyes. Conrad Voigtveer. That he committed his treachery and escaped with his life was an unforgivable oversight. We both served Lord Captain Theodora for many years, and we never saw eye to eye. He was brash. He was never afraid of assuming responsibility, and he willingly took on difficult tasks. I am loath to admit it, but the Von Valancius Protectorate continues to reap the fruits of his labors to this day. His service always garnered my respect. But everything else about him made me want to wring the neck of that two-faced snake. If you are taking comfort in the thought that we will hear no more of Conrad, prepare to be disappointed. You thwarted his plans, his meticulously plotted and nurtured treachery. He is sure to attempt to strike at you, and he will use his contacts and knowledge of the Protectorate to do so. The only question, Lord Captain, is whether you will be able to anticipate his next steps.
Okay, that's all for now.
As you wish, Lord Captain.
Okay, I'd like to know more about my Seneschal.
As you wish, Lord Captain. What would you like to know?
Tell me about yourself. What were you before you became Theodorus Seneschal?
I used to be an officer in the Navis Imperialis.
Ah.
No. Used to be is not quite right. It was not simply a job. It was my calling. The essence of my life. I was proud to serve Lord Captain Theodora, but in my heart and mind, I'm still an officer of the Imperium. I met Lord Captain Theodora on a mission where the Imperial Navy was providing reinforcement to the rogue traders' army on one of the frontier worlds. Our acquaintance was not easy. Working with people outside the Navy hierarchy has never been my strong suit. It was to my great surprise then, that after the mission's completion, I received a referral to leave my service in the Navy and join the rogue trader's personal capsule. It was a difficult choice for me. But I saw in the offer
a chance to serve the interests of humanity even more effectively than in the Navis Imperialis. You do not need me to tell you just how remarkable a person Lord Captain Theodora was. I recognized her at once as a true leader and formidable creative force. One who had built a protectorate amidst the dangers and wildness of the Expanse.
Leaving the Imperial Navy is far from easy. Why were you permitted to quit your post?
You could say there was no one among the naval command who was willing to impede the wishes of the rogue trader. To do so would be to risk their own position and their relationship with Theodora. Well, the Lord Captain possessed certain contacts in the Imperial Navy. Contacts which she used to request help during the conflict on the border world. And which enabled her to make me an offer that resulted in my joining her retinue. The Navis Imperialis is an ancient institution with its own mandates and muster lists. On occasion, in the heat of an official briefing, or an informal discussion, I violated those rules, determined to press my point. It is challenging to choose the words to accurately express my opinion on a situation or the actions of others that do not sound overly scathing or confrontational. Many in command were inclined to view my manner of speaking as unbefitting a person of my rank.
The way you talk about Theodora, I'm beginning to think you were in love with her.
What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings or unsanctioned relations are utterly baseless and bordering on the insulting. Utterly baseless.
Do you have a family?
I am a widower. I am a father of 4, and if my information is not outdated, a grandfather of 11. My family lives on Dargonus. None of my children express any eagerness or aptitude for serving aboard ship, and I would hardly have insisted that they follow in my footsteps.
Alright. Thank you, I have no more questions.
Of course.
Alright, you may call me by my first name if you wish.
I thank you for the honor, but I must decline. As a former military officer, I believe in the importance of order in all things, including the chain of command. You are the Lord Captain, my direct superior. I am not prepared to address you in any way other than as regulation dictates.
Alright, I must take my leave. Until next time, Seneschal.
Lord Captain.
Juris. Riker Manoris. Okay. Alright, we'll go back for now. Really should level up. Okay. Fellowship. Yep, do that. And then motivation. Alright. I'll do. Okay. Okay, evasive maneuvers. And what will this do? Toughness. Great. Okay. Yadira? Alright. Willpower would be good. What mines? Okay. Oh, that seems pretty good. Thriving in peril. Okay, last magenta. Ballistics. Litany of Hatred. Emperor protects. Revelance. Okay, we'll use that. Okay. Everyone's good. Alright. The corpulent man in lavish clothes bows before you. Not without difficulty, a servo skull whirs over his shoulder while fingers of his augmented hand drum against... Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll start again. A servo skull whirs over his shoulder while the fingers of his augmented hand drum against the sheaf of papers he is holding, and he regards you with an attentive interest through the lens of his magnifying implant. Greetings, your lordship. Generous Danok at your service. Remind me, what is it you do on my ship? As the High Factotum, my duties encompass anything that might enrich you and your protectorate. I see to it that suppliers deliver all shipments on time, that our partners do not weasel out of their promises, and that all servants remember that the Emperor's grace can only be earned through toil for the good of the Von Valancius dynasty. I also make arrangements to ensure that our hold receives less than thorough inspections by port customs officials, and I find buyers for whatever you wish to sell. And of course, I ensure that the Protectorate's wards prepare their tithe in a timely fashion. Let none ever say in my lifetime that the dynasty has disgraced itself with a late payment of the sacred tribute. Alright. How did you come to serve in the Von Valancius dynasty? Alright. I come from Dargonus, your lordship. I have been a subject of your dynasty since birth, and I've always strived to be of use to the great rogue trader. Alas, it was not my fate to be the primary heir of my own family due to my being 15th in line for the title. So wow, 15th. So I decided to not stand in the way of those behind me in case they attempt to shorten the waiting list at my expense. Janris lets out an almost kindly chuckle. While my brothers and sisters schemed against one another, I studied the exact sciences and mastered bookkeeping. The greatest art of the Adeptus Administratum. I must admit that the accumulation of wealth, something one can control, is far more exciting than hunting, carousing, and other traditional amusements of my noble peers. So you're a bookworm. It's alright. Alright. What was it like working with Theodora? Oh, now that's a tricky question, your lordship. Do you ask it of everyone, knowing they risk losing their head should they let slip a careless remark about your predecessor? I shall put it thus. Working with Lady Theodora was never boring and always profitable. The Imperium has billions of subjects, but very few do what they love and what they are best suited to. I would say Lady Theodora was one of the fortunate ones. She was a model rogue trader, and she surrounded herself with those who excelled and loved their work. Hers was a rare talent indeed. Okay. I wish to know what you think of your fellow crew members. Keeping tabs on your subordinates? A wise move. Let me tell you who interests you. Tell me who interests you, and I'll endeavour to be as honest as possible. Janris's eyes light up. He's obviously eager to speak his mind. Tell me what you think of Seneschal Abelard Werserian. Oh. Lady Theodora managed to do what even the Imperial Navy could not. Teach Master Werserian to carry out orders that he fundamentally disagrees with. I do not know what methods she used, but the result is impressive. Having said that, there is something else you need to know. Lord Captain, your Seneschal is capable of being something far greater than a mere conduit for your will. He possesses the cunning and experience to run a protectorate passably whenever Lady Theodora was away. Sorry, I'll read that again. He possessed the cunning and experience to run the protectorate passably whenever Lady Theodora was away. And that is really saying something. Keep an eye on that old officer, I say, or alternatively turn him into a faithful ally. Okay. Alright, I'd like to hear your opinion of Conrad Voigtveer, the former Master of Whispers. I hope I never see him set foot aboard this vessel again, not even as a servitor, although he would be able to do at least some good that way. Someone has to clean the latrines after all. The factotum's bloated face grows stern. He gave us all quite a fright on that ill-fated day, Lord Captain. And still, to speak candidly, I never enjoyed Master Voigtveer's company. but I believed him to be a man who knew how to do his job. Regretfully, I was mistaken, and it turned out that Kunrad lacked the most important quality for a Master of Whispers: unwavering loyalty to the rogue trader. And his failing came to light in the most deplorable manner. Yeah, alright. What do you have to say about Voxmaster Vigis Toliman? Ah yes, the Voidborn. You know, in my family, we used such creatures as quarry whenever we went hunting. Mutants are the bane of humanity, an unseen tumor that threatens to end us all. But I digress. In the brief time Toliman has spent in post as Voxmaster, I have not noticed any significant flaws in her character or anything that would make me question her professional qualities. Needless to say, she is very diligent, as is any Voidborn seeking to earn the Master's affection. I believe you can trust in her skills and loyalty. Fair enough? Okay. Okay, I want to know more about the people who buy our plunder. Of course, Lord Captain. Who interests you exactly? We most often deal with the followers of Saint Drusus, the Explorators, the Caspalica Mission, or Emperor Forgive Us, the Fellowship of the Void. What do the followers of Saint Drusus acquire from us? The Drusians still hope to... My ear is really hurting, sorry. I'm going to take a quick break. Okay, we're back. I have to give my ear a rest. It kind of hurts my cartilage, but yeah. Okay, so... what do the followers of St. Drusus acquire from us? The Drusians still hope to bring the Coronis Expanse into the warm embrace of the faith, just as their flock hopes to receive the aid of the Drusian missionaries. Each crate of food, shipment or clothes, or box of medicine marked with your seal is a sign of a rogue trader himself believes in the sect's future success. Reverend Hieronymus is the first among the Drusians and is most often seen in Footfall's grand atrium. A gloomy fellow, but some almost believe him to be a saint. Okay, tell me more about the Explorators. Members of the Explorator Cognizance Fleet, which have been roaming the Coronis Expanse for a good while now. Omnisire knows what they are hoping to find, but their acolytes regularly show up on inhabited worlds seeking bits of sacred knowledge, tracking down mechanical relics, and sniffing out Xeno artifacts. If truth be told, supposedly, they want to save the ignorant rabble from corruption. A tech priest named Opticon22 does business with us on the fleet's behalf. He can be found at the docks on Footfall. Alright. I am interested in the Kazbalika mission. Kazbalisa? Kazbalika? Alright. The masters of the cold trade, immoral criminals and notorious crooks to the last man. The mission is but one branch of this mafia gang that has taken root in the Calixis sector. You can do business with them as long as you take the very necessary precautions. They are led by Vladimir Tokara, who recently appointed himself the Liege of Footfall. Of course, he is a trusted ally of rogue trader Winterscale, but he will not refuse you, another of the Emperor's anointed. If you wish to talk to Vladium, look for him in the Liege's palace on Footfall. Alright. What is the Fellowship of the Void? Janus emits a laugh like gurgle. A pompous name, is it not? In truth, they are a gang of pirates who are forever squabbling over losing territory. However, some of their little flotillas need supplies, or can take the awkward cargo off our hands without asking questions. Of course, there is always a risk that these scoundrels would change their minds and attempt to board us instead, but so far our macro cannons have managed to keep them in line. They say Riza Calvaria speaks on the Fellowship's behalf. The Adaptus Amosectus on Footfall is rumoured to be her favourite haunt. Okay. What are we giving away our spoils to these people? Why are we giving away our spoils to these people in the first place? To profit from them, of course. Most of the things you will find during expeditions are complete junk to one such as yourself, but less fortunate and affluent servants of the Emperor think them treasures, especially when they are bestowed by the great rogue trader himself. Drusian fanatics and pirate cutthroats, Kazbalika dealers and explorators, none will refuse our help in these dark and trying times. And there may come a time when we shall be the ones requiring aid, and it would prove beneficial to have allies willing to provide it. Alright, I suggest we change the subject. Certainly, Lord Captain. Alright, I wish to bolster my retinue with skilled fighters. Rest assured, there are people of the most outstanding talent among the thousands in your crew. I will contact the overseers at once. Oh, okay. Hector. Oh, okay, you can make more party members. Alright, in Warhammer 40,000. Alright. Don't need that. Closing the interface will reset the choice. Alright, let's talk again. My retinue and I are in need of training. I will show you our sparring chambers at once. Oh, okay. Well, we'll leave that for now. Okay. Jocasta. Jocasta Salbeck is the very picture of discipline. Her uniform is exquisitely pressed, her armour is polished, and her posture is imposing and rigid. The only flaw in her immaculate appearance is the heavy Enforcer's maul, which is worn and battered from frequent use. She salutes you with a practiced motion. Greetings, Lord Captain. Alright. How did you come to serve on my flagship? I come from the noble Sarback family on the capital world of Dargonus. I dare say that our house is renowned for its loyalty and strict adherence to the law, and members of my family have been your faithful enforcers for centuries. I am honoured to be the 6th Master at Arms named Salbeck to serve on the ship. Jocasta speaks the words with unmistakable pride. Alright. Why are you here instead of basking in luxury on Dargonus? Because of my cousin Macarius. A furious crease appears between her brows. I cannot stand him. But the feeling is mutual, so we can hardly be in the same room together. I jumped at the opportunity to become your enforcer. I should thank my obnoxious cousin for nudging me towards the best decision of my life. I serve you with all my heart, and wish for no other fate than this one. Alright. You are wearing Imperial Navy armor. How did you come by it? I inherited it from the previous Master at Arms. Like the esteemed Seneschal, he left the Navy to serve Lady Theodora. He brought quite a few officers with him and established a tradition. Upon the death or resignation of an enforcer, his or her armour would be passed on to a fellow officer who had distinguished themselves in the course of their duties. I was awarded armour in this way in my time. Upon the death of my predecessor, I inherited his personal armour. What's your opinion of me as Lord Captain? I will not dare form opinions about your lordship. That would be unforgivably brazen of me. My duty is to serve, not to evaluate. Alright. I want to know what you think about the other officers. I do not trust them, but I do not trust anyone. Mistress Tolliman has too much power and will surely be tempted to start deciding for herself what information to share with the crew on your behalf and what to withhold. Ravor is closely intertwined with the ship's systems, which opens up plenty of opportunities for sabotage. He must be watched. As for Danrock, forgive me, but a man of his size and habits cannot help but steal. What can you tell me about Abelard? The Seneschal is a model of competence and fidelity, and all the officers and enforcers look up to him with gratitude. A grimace of fierce devotion takes hold of Sarbeck's face, before she abruptly grits her teeth and continues. It is all the more distressing to see that the many years have not been kind to the deeply respected Master Wersarian. Soon there will be no rejuvenate treatment that can save him from the mistakes inherited at such an advanced age. I wonder how old he is. But we are ever watchful, and we'll be there to steady the trembling hands of the honoured veteran if need be. Alright, I want to know more about your service. I am ready to answer any questions, Lord Captain. Okay, what are the Master Arms' duties? I am responsible for upholding the safety and order aboard the ship. Guard duties, patrols, finding and punishing troublemakers. In addition, my enforcers ensure that all the crew follow directives and carry out their tasks properly. As they say in my family, a servant who shows disobedience today prepares for a riot tomorrow. Fair enough. So you're like the police. There are thousands of people aboard this vessel. How do you maintain order? 2 words, Lord Captain. Suppression and fear. The base nature of the rabble cries for an iron grip, lest they give in to their animal urges. We have many well-tested measures to prevent it. Random night searches, preventative interrogations, corporal punishment, and executions. Of course, the laws of the ship equally apply to the officers. We eradicate the canker of insubordination wherever we find it without mercy. Dictatorship. I hope the executions are carried out in public for the educational benefit. Alright. This conversation evokes nostalgic memories of serving as a commissar. Sauerbach's approach is very similar to the disciplinary oppression techniques used by the Officico Prefectus. Alright. Oh, you can see the stars. Sauerbach's eyes gleam with a sadistic delight. Naturally. They last long enough to give the rabble something to think about. The witness to the execution must be of all the same class and criminal. It is unwise to put an officer to death in front of the common folk, for it undermines the perception of rank. She trails off. It seems like she really gets to discuss the nuances of a craft as complex and delicate as capital punishments. Alright. I hope you will not repeat the mistakes of the previous Master at Arms. You can be sure of that. He was a fine enforcer, but suffered from the fatal flaw of trusting his associates. I myself lack that weakness and trust no one except you, Lord Captain. Alright, let us change the subject. That's all for now. Proud to serve the dynasty. Thank you. What's back here? Alright. Adira. Servitors. Okay, nothing over here, is there? Okay. Alright. Okay. The tall, middle-aged woman stares straight ahead, her eyes vacant as she rubs the implant at her temple. Her collar is undone, and one of the clasps on it is on the verge of falling off. Sensing your presence, Adira turns her head towards you and offers you a crooked smile, even if her eyes look right through you. Augmentations. Mechanical or electronic cybernetic substitutes for biological limbs or organs. Okay. Adira, about your abilities.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
You're a Psyker. Psykers are only granted the right to live with the Emperor's blessing. Have you ever been to Terra?
Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut, if it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship, and my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. If they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have.
Where do you come from?
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
The Astronomicon.
It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win, from poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me. But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead, in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention.
You never finish your story about your first time crossing the warp.
It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
All right. What did you do before you came on this ship?
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra. There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me, for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
How did you end up in the Rogue Trader's service?
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. And as I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then, Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered their guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So, I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the von Valancius dynasty.
Have you ever been off the ship?
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can. After some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
Of course, Lord Captain.
What's it like being a psyker?
Lord Captain, forgive me, but it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors. I could spend hours explaining, but it wouldn't make any sense to you.
Fair enough.
Every psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side. When I need to use it for work, I listen in more closely. But I usually just try not to notice it.
How do you live with this whispering in your head?
Training, habit, and a little amasec and a couple other things you can get on the lower decks. If you put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than listening to the living, anyhow.
Fair enough. What would happen if your door bursts open?
Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right? But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust me. I know how to keep my valuable head locked up tight.
Okay. Aren't you afraid of losing control?
Only losers who are afraid of their own gift lose control. Or idiots who never figure out what they are before it's too late. Or little kids who want to play around with their shiny new toy. If you don't know the limits of your abilities, or you're always bouncing around in your own head, that's a recipe for disaster.
Okay. Can you see my future?
All right. That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you. If you'll allow it, I can listen right now.
Sure.
All right. Let's hear what they're whispering about you.
Yadira laughs, rubs her hands together, and suddenly freezes with a vacant smile on her face. Her head slightly tilted. You feel goosebumps appear on your skin, and your collar begins to waver ever so slightly, as if moved by a breeze from a half-open door.
Seek not on firm ground, but in a golden hall suspended in the void. There waits a child without kin, but with a name blind to truth. She draws the brush across the canvas and does not notice that her palette is full not of paint, but of blood. And with each smear, this well does not deplete, but fills and fills up to the brim. One thing is clear. When this vessel overflows, none will remain unstained.
Ominous.
Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, rogue trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion. A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. A chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master, or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord? The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it? I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now...
Okay. I'd like to hear your augury, Adira. What awaits me in the future? Could you do it again?
All right. Let's hear what they're whispering about you. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing.
I'll do.
Did you know
Theodora von Valancius well?
But none of the officers knew the Lord Captain well. Not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice. The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices. Ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head.
Right. Got a new story for me, Adira?
You bet I do, Lord Captain. Okay, so we went to Footfall once. Well, I mean, Lord Captain Theodora went to Footfall a lot. But on that occasion, she took me with her for some reason. My day had gotten off to a bad start. My head had been yammering since I woke up, but there was nothing else for it. I had to go. We arrived at the place, and what a place! All the gentlemen and ladies dressed to kill, showing off their encrusted implants, all clustered around little tables. Well, turned out it was a gaming den. And not just any gaming den, but one run by somebody with deep pockets for people with just as much cash to splash. You should have seen it. People gambling away planets in a game of regicide. Anyway, so the Lord Captain wanted me to help her beat some guy. So I tell her, the chips won't land in your favor. You'll get a bad hand. Don't sit down at that table, your ladyship. But did she listen? Of course she didn't. If there's one thing she never lacked, it's stubbornness.
Wow.
So they sat down and the cards were dealt. I'm hovering around like I'm not involved, but I'm keeping my eye on things. And everything in my head keeps getting louder and louder. Anyway, it's a good thing I realized in time that my mind wasn't going haywire over a losing hand, but something else. I made some excuse to drag the Lord Captain up from the table and took her away from that place. And a few minutes later, the room where we'd been... It turned out some wise guy had the same bright idea to bring a pet psyker along with him. One of those ones who just scuttle around in Footfall's underbelly. And the psyker just freaked out, I guess. After all the commotion, people went to see what happened in the room. And they'd all gone for each other's throats. Literally. With teeth. And I think they completely detached that asteroid from Footfall and pushed it off into open space so it would head off toward the local star.
Wow. Alright, I must take my leave.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Okay. Alright. Let's look at our journal. Finish that one. Contracts. Let's have a look. New blood. Okay, the void ship needs a new navigator. A navigator would be good. Okay. Navis Nobility Station. People. Nurse. White ship. Navis Nobility. Oh, okay. Where am I currently? Astropathic Station. Okay. Oh. Okay, Lord Commander, Astropathic Choir Master Zachary Weiss is asking to speak to you via a private channel. Oh, hello. You're new. Greetings, your lordship. I can report that the choir is listening tirelessly to the Immaterium in the hope of picking up voices from the dynasty's ships or worlds. However, we have heard something horrifying instead. Amid the Immaterium's tumult, something is screaming. This scream is driving your choir mad. Until it stops, we have no hope of contacting any of the dynasty's worlds. It's coming from the Rykad system's Astropathic Station. Okay. I do not think we've been introduced. Indeed not. Indeed not. and we meet under lamentable circumstances. My name is Zachary Weiss. Weiss? And I am proud to be the choir master of your ship's astropathic choir. The duty I perform is to keep you in contact with the Expanse via the astropathic messages sent through the warp by trained psychers. Alright, what is the nature of this scream? We do not know, your lordship, but it has brought the immaterium to a boil. It has always been a violent roaring ocean that could spell doom for anyone who would consider stepping into its waters. Now, however, it has become a cradle of the madness where the expelled images fuse together, twisting and cackling, before crashing into the minds of all who perceive it. A mighty warp storm the likes of which I cannot recall rages in the Empyrean, and it fills me with terror. The Cicatrix Maledictum, a huge warp storm stretching across the galaxy, the result of a catastrophic rift in real space. So yeah, it kind of splits the galaxy in half. Okay, if the scream stops, will we be able to contact someone? I humbly hope so, your lordship. Perhaps we will manage to send a call for aid to the Von Valancius worlds or one of the dynasty's allies. We are going to pay a visit to the station. Thank you, your lordship. Okay. Lord Captain, reporting, the heralds of the Navis Nobilite continue to maintain Vox silence, perhaps due to Urak 5 being off limits to visitors. We intercepted signals from the beacons drifting in the station's orbit. The demands are clear. We are told to turn the ship around immediately. We have also detected an accumulation of space debris near the station's docks. Presumably, it is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed Navis Nobility House requires aid, and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmissions. Alright, contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. Order the Augur crew to scan the station. Turn back, no one dares give me orders. We will not invade a Navis Nobility station without first acquiring official approval. Right, scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The Vox remains silent for a while, but then you hear static. Vijdis' measured voice. The officers from the Augur crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readers. We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered, and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the center module, which means the station has not been abandoned, so the question remains, why are the steam navigator's heralds ignoring us? Alright, to contact the station again, I will negotiate personally. The Vox relays the cadent sound of grinding gears and clicking tumblers. I'm sorry, Lord Captain, the station does not reply even after an official greeting by a rogue trader, and the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. Alright, order the crew to commence docking with the station. Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station, so you will have to look for the esteemed navigators blind. Dock safely and may the God Emperor light your path. End dialogue. Choose party members. Alright, accept. Okay, we got a mission.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Celio. Dang. Not a step further. Master, we have some strange guests on the station. Okay. Philek or Celio? A tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his wary face. And not just his own blood. Two jet black unblinking eyes are watching your every move. And the third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pulsing behind the lower lid in the middle of his forehead. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Another warp. Okay. Abelard, if you would be so kind. Desist, brother. It was the Emperor's will that brought me to this abode. Keep talking to me this way and I'll make you swallow your own tongue. Desist. The navigator frowns. No one has the right to interpret his will so freely, brother. But wait. I recognize your coat of arms. You must be a lord of the von Valancius dynasty. Yes, I'm absolutely positive, in fact. And since fate has brought such an important person into my abode, allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felek Christoph August, keeper of this station. So, you did not come to offer support to the traitors. This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Uruk 5 is a holy sanctum for the House Orcelio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say you were not on my guest list. Okay. Provide me with a navigator and I will immediately depart the station. I came here in search of a navigator, so you are coming with me. I am looking for the Lord Inquisitor's interrogator, one Heinrich van Kalox. Do you know anything about his present location? What is happening at this station and where did all his corpses come from? Alright. Betrayal. A most banal thing in the life of a nobility, don't you think? I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend, Theobald Orcelio, the second keeper of Uruk 5 and my mentor. On his instructions, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew up the shuttles, and brutally massacred the loyal servants of my mistress. Most unforgivably, they dared to take her prisoner. Greedy scum. I swear by the throne's light, their souls will perish in the darkness of the void. Okay. Felek falls silent for a few moments and then furiously slams the end of his staff onto the floor. The madmen have captured Lady Cassia and are now torturing her upstairs, while we are idly chatting down here. Help me rescue her or be gone, but waste no more of my precious time. Okay, what kind of help are we talking about? I still have questions concerning the situation on the station. Taken by force. I do not care about your mistress. I'm looking for a navigator and you will do. Attack. Your words are rife with disrespect and I will not tolerate it. Alright, what kind of help are you talking about? I want him on side. I would never ask you for such a favour under different circumstances, and yet... Valek takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood and winces in pain. And yet Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness. But you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress's chambers, you will need to remake a holy relic, sanctified with the blood of Lady Orselio herself. This is the control rod of the elevator's machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny. But even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator's mechanism is powered. Alright. How do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the Mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the requilary doors. The most ancient of these sacred mechanisms will help you rebuild the rod. The tech priests ceaselessly perform the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirit would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. Why should I help you? You came to this station for a reason. House Orselio will not be able to help you until the current crisis is resolved. But if you aid us now, I promise we will reach an agreement that you will find satisfying, be it riches, influences, or the powers of our navigators. Alright, great. So how do I power this elevator? The station's main conjugator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? I never said this feat would be easy to accomplish. The path to the laboratory is the guard room. The path to the laboratory and the guard room is blocked by the very same madmen who took over the station. They will not negotiate, and they are not afraid of displeasing the Navis nobility or incurring the Emperor's wrath. They will bow only to brute strength, which is something I currently happen to lack. I guess that makes sense? So what have you decided, descendant of the Von Valancius line? Alright. I still have questions concerning the station. The woes of your house upset the balance of power in this part of the galaxy. I will help you if not for the sake of profit but for the good of the Imperium. It will be an honor to save the Lady Navigator from her woes. The rogue trader's aid will cost House Orselio, but you should rejoice, for your mistress will live. I will rescue your mistress, but in return I require that House Orselio sign a contract with my protectorate. Okay, I still have questions. Okay, Arida Chow. Okay, tell me about your mistress. Regretfully, I'm not allowed to discuss my mistress, whether with her retinue or with outsiders. She will tell you about herself personally if she feels like it. That is assuming she survives. I'm begging you not to waste any more of our precious time, for it is running out. What makes you think your mistress is still alive? You may not believe me, but Lady Cassia is capable of incredible things. Not even the traitor Theobald could easily harness her power. My men have reported the station is in a deplorable state. Trust me, I should know. Everything happened too quickly and there were dozens of reports of accidents, victims, and failing systems. The only precious thing aboard this station is Lady Cassia's life. Everything else is futile and can be easily replenished. Why did you not respond to the messages from Rykard Minoris? I have already said Uruk V is sacrosanct. It is the holy domain of the Navis nobility, and it is forbidden for any commoners from the world below. We had hoped to solve this crisis on our own, but when the situation spiraled out of control, we could not establish contact because the traitors had disabled our equipment. Enough questions. Alright. Okay. You should hurry then. We will stay here to hold the line and lick our wounds. Good luck, Rogue Traeger, and may the Emperor's light be with you. Items received. Cyclectory of blood. Okay. Alright, to journal. Secrets of the Navis nobility. Alright, I think we will leave it there for now. Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. Okay. Thanks very much for the live stream. It was fun playing it. I'm going to get some food now because I'm starving. So, goodbye everyone and take care.